Hi, I'm Catherine Newton, CEO of Are You OK? We're an Australian harm prevention charity that encourages people to stay connected and have conversations that can help others through difficult times in their lives. Are You OK? Was started by the late Gavin Larkin after losing his father Barry to suicide. Gavin believed that a conversation could change a life and that everyone has a role to play in supporting the people in their world. This is backed up by academic research that has found feelings of connection and belonging to be protective factors against suicide. Sadly, cancer ended Gavin's life in 2011, but his legacy is a national movement that has inspired millions of meaningful conversations. None of this would be possible without all of you who are committed to having those conversations, not just on Are You OK Day, but every day. Over the past few months, I've been on the road sharing this message as part of the Are You OK conversation convoy, and listening to Australians who are dealing with a range of life circumstances or helping people close to them navigate life's ups and downs. There's no doubt many have been doing it tough. Natural disasters, the ongoing impact of the pandemic, world conflicts, workforce shortages, and the cost of living have added financial pressure and emotional strain. These pressures can sometimes feel pretty big and out of our control, but something we can always do is reach out, have a conversation, and support one another. But we also found through our research that 4 in 10 Australians hold back from asking Are You OK? Because they're worried it might start a conversation that should be had with an expert. That's why our message this year is Ask Are You OK? No qualifications needed. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to have all of the solutions. Just listening and showing you care might be all someone needs to help them through a tough time. And if they do need expert help, you can be that connector to professional support.
I think for many people, there's a bit of concern about asking someone, are you okay? Because they're a little bit worried about the answer and I won't know what to do, which is fair enough. But I think if people remember that they don't have to be a mental health expert, that they're really just opening the conversation and they just need to listen. And it's okay for them to say, oh, thanks for talking about that with me. I'm not really sure what we should do, but let's look at it together and you know, I'm here to help. So I think that people shouldn't undervalue just their basic humanity. You know, every human being is actually can ask, are you okay? And you're immediately qualified as a human being.
Hi, I'm Mustafa Karouche. I'm an Are You OK Community Ambassador. Today, we're going to run through the 4 simple steps that you can take to have an Are You OK conversation. But before you even start the conversation, it's really important that you're ready, that you've picked your moment, you're in the right headspace, you've got time, and have a location of where you can have that conversation where you're both going to feel comfortable. So the first step is to ask. It doesn't have to be, are you okay? It can be, how are you going? How have you been? Or I've noticed something's going on. Don't judge the person. Don't criticize the person. Just tell them a little bit about what you've noticed, the changes that you might have seen, and then start to have that conversation. Step 2 is listen. Listening is one of the most important steps in an Are You OK conversation. This is where we really try and understand what's going on for the person, what are some of the concerns, and what are the reasons why those changes are occurring. We want to be non-judgmental. We want to allow for silences. Be patient. Let the person take their time in telling their story and what might be going on. The third step is encouraging action. In this step, we want to encourage the person to seek further assistance. Now that might be through a GP, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a mental health professional, but it might also be community-based support or one of those 24-hour helplines that you can contact. We might even be able to have a conversation with the person and that suffices. Having a walk, having a cup of coffee, and just chatting about what might be going on. The fourth step is check in. Right here, we want to follow up on the conversation that we started. We want to come back to the person and see whether or not those support services were helpful, whether or not they might need to engage in further support. So the first step is to ask. The second step is listen. The third step is encouraging action. Step 4 is checking back in. And remember, by having an "Are you okay" conversation, you can help someone feel safe, supported, and connected. Because a conversation can change a life.
It is a simple question that can open up a world of conversation.
Great opportunity to stop little problems becoming big problems and letting someone know that you're there to listen and that you genuinely care.
It's made me feel valued, respected, and human. It makes me feel like people are around and are there to support me whenever I need.
Being there for people and providing the support and encouragement that they need is really important.
Someone reaching out and checking in on me can genuinely flip me from thinking that I don't matter and no one would miss me to that someone notices me, that I am important in the world to at least one person. So don't ever underestimate the importance of asking, "Are you okay?"